Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. Hope everyone is having a great 4th of July. We want to get your feedback about my participations in the show, so please leave comments. Tonight our topics include the Atlanta Braves, the MLB All-Star Game, sports news around Atlanta, and what you did for the 4th of July. So stay tuned, the Real Talk Sports Show is coming up.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we're very thankful to have you guys here joining us here on the 4th of July. That's right, it's 4th of July is here. It has been a great weekend, especially in Atlanta. Every single city has been doing all types of stuff for the holidays, and hopefully you have enjoyed you and yours during this holiday season of 2023. Again, 4th of July is here, and hopefully you're having a good time. Remember, follow us anywhere on the social media portals, whichever one you choose. It's all the same. At Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. We'd love to have you be a part of what's going on here. We'll jump on here to social media right here, and we got the hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Hopefully everything is well. And that is Bush. I can't read that. Bush FG, but we appreciate him for jumping on and saying what's up. We appreciate each and every one of you. Again, you can check us out anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Here's what I'm going to do. Because we started late, I got to show this off. Today, we will not have the Queen. She will be out and about with her familia and enjoying herself on the holiday. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come up with an idea. We're going to try something new tonight. Again, in case you missed it, we're going to introduce you again to a virtual introduction from Adia.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. Hope everyone is having a great 4th of July. We want to get your feedback about my participations in the show, so please leave comments. Tonight our topics include the Atlanta Braves, the MLB All-Star Game, sports news around Atlanta, and what you did for the 4th of July. So stay tuned, the Real Talk Sports Show is coming up.
Yes, indeed, guys, you want to try something a little different. The world of AI is now upon us. I was going to say it's rapidly advancing on us, but it's here. So we wanted to try that out there. And thanks to the folks at Canva, giving us a little bit of assist. And thank you to Miss Aria. And we're going to be doing some more of that. Like to get your guys' feedback on what you think about our virtual presenter. And Todd says, is she single? Already Todd trying to make a move. All right. Like I told you guys, the Queen will not be with us tonight. But, we also bring in a champion. Not one, but 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's also a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. He's all around good guy, motivational speaker, and a guy that brings the energy whenever he's here. Number 38, Tyrone Poole is back in the building. What's going on, sir?
How we doing? How we doing, everybody? Hope everybody's well. I'm at to change up my intro, man. You coming up with new stuff, AI. I got to get rid of that Fort Valley, and I got to come up with something new, man.
We got to get you something new, bro. We got to get you. We got to bring people up to date. because I mean, you're a motivational speaker, you're a trainer, you got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna work with you because we want to put a brand new video out there, letting people know what is happening with Mr. Tyrone Poole. So yeah, brother, but yeah, I want to try to do something a little different.
Yeah.
So like I said, the Queen will not be with us, so I thought that Aria might be able to help us.
Now that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. The AI, man, technology. That's where it's all about. I'm telling any and everybody, you guys better start keeping up with AI, right? Because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself at home all the time at home because AI
Amen.
is gonna take over your job. So
About to take
uh,
your job, baby. Yes,
take your
sir.
job.
Yes, sir. But the good news is that AI can really, once you begin to master it, can really actually help you be more of an asset, not only on your job, but if you have your own business. There's so many things you can do with this. That's just we as the public is just scratching the surface. I mean, the U.S. military, militaries around the world, governments around the world have been using some fashion of AI for a
Yeah.
long time. As a matter of fact, even simply on your phone, autofill and those kind of things that we have with Google, that's all AI generated. So
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't like about AI. It has its good points and it has its bad points. But I think AI really is going to make generations even more lazier. Um, I was talking to a guy the other day, and
well,
he was saying basically that the youth that are coming out today that are applying for jobs, they can't even put a subject and a predicate together. They can't even put a subject noun, the nouns, they can't even put it together no more because AI is doing all that stuff for them. Like you said, I'm like, how many people probably could write a true sentence? I'm like, that's what I mean. AI is making people lazy. So I'm like, it's cool. AI is good in certain instances. But then again, I think it's too robotic. Me personally, I just like there's certain things I just think should just stay, uh, traditional, human interaction. But again, we're moving towards, AI. And, but yeah, man, you got to make sure you stay up on your skills. Don't get too lazy. I even get lazy, right? GPS. Shoot. Sometimes when I go downtown Atlanta, I still have to use my GPS just to get from downtown Atlanta. It's not that hard. But again, it just goes to show how a skill that if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So that's why the youth today, they may be technology savvy, but when you put them in front of an old school setting, they're like, okay, what is this? What am I supposed to do with it? But if something would have happened in this world and we got to go back to the old school, like for example, DOS, how many people understand DOS? That's where computers originated from. So that's what I mean. It's good in its points, but then it makes you weak in other areas. I
oh
just
yeah,
me.
man. There's no doubt. I mean, here's the ball game now. So right now, the AI has now had to come up with a system on how humans can now be able to vet to make sure information they're getting, like papers and so forth, actually are human generated, not AI. They now have a new program out to say, hey, run what you got from your kid through this to make sure it's not being plagiarized or not being done by AI only. So yeah, man, it's really a crazy world out there, but you got to be a part of it. Going back to social media here, Todd says, "Hey, the Beatles are releasing a new single due to AI." Yeah, I mean, the AI can do a lot of stuff. I mean, but at the end of the day, you have to make yourself valuable. That's always the MO. Tyrone will tell you, "Hey, you don't play in a league. You don't become a top performance in business unless you have value. But people ain't gonna pay you. You ain't got no value."
I tell
So,
you, in a few, AI gonna take your spot. They gonna like, we don't need no Jonathan.
well,
All
hey,
right. Man, hey, you better bring some flavor to Real Talk Sports, man. You better bring some controversy or something. AI gonna AI
you
gonna
already know, bro. Listen. I already know what time it is, sir. It is something where we all have to, take a good look. And certainly, we're going to talk a little bit of Atlanta Braves before we get into that Braves fans. I know a lot of you guys I posted on your Braves pages. I'm going to talk about the Braves, how hot they are, how good they are, and Ronald Acuna. Is there any ceiling to what this young man can do without being injured, and what kind of records he might be able to set this year? Before I get into that, yeah, you talk about this whole AI thing really quickly. Well, in general, everything that we know of that was big time, that was thought to be immutable as far as your ability to say, hey, I can't do anything with this guy, all that stuff's being shaken. As we see with ESPN, another round of cuts of major on their personality. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, not only do you have to have your own flavor, but you got to have your own stuff
You know,
because you got to do it.
I heard a guy say this. He says everybody better start going back to trade school.
Right.
Go to
No,
trade
because
school. You don't necessarily have to go to college. Go to trade school. Get you a trade. Learn it. Get something that the computer cannot take from you. Better get you a trade.
look, at the end of the day, that's the way it's been really for the last 20 years or so. It's really been that same pocket that, people need to get back to doing things that only a human being can do. Now, don't get me wrong, it's getting to the point where, and it will be down the road, the AI is going to be able to do a lot of stuff that we can do, and it's going to be on the same par of someone with a high skill level in that particular entity. But that doesn't mean that you have to tap out. That just means you have to ratchet up. And that's why later on this broadcast, we're going to get a little inspiration from Tyrone Poole as he talks to you about how to work that thing. Because you better know how to work that thing right now because the apocalypse is upon us, boys and girls. All right, listen, keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Please. Thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, guys, we're back here at the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and right next to me is Mr. Tyrone Poole, a guy who is doing big things in all aspects in terms of physicality, in terms of mentality.
I'm just trying to
Say
hold
again?
on. I'm just trying to hold on. Hold
Hey, bro,
on. I'm
we ain't holding on
coming.
to nothing. Well, actually, that's not true. We're holding on to the Lord. If we got him, bro, we got all we need. Yes, sir. We're rocking and rolling. But yeah, man, let's talk about a little bit of the Braves, Tyrone. I mean, these guys look like the real deal, must-see TV. They're already at the halfway mark, or 150, I think 51 games now, depending on tonight's outcome. So, I mean, how good is this team? I mean, could this be a legendary Braves team? Because we've had some good ones over the last 25 years.
I don't know about legendary and all that stuff. They 57-27. So, they playing good ball. That's what I'll tell you right now. But at the end of the day, you play good in the regular season, but you don't win World Series in the regular season. So, you win it in the postseason. So, but right now, 57-27, they are, pretty good record. Right now, I'm looking at the actual scores. They're down 2 runs to the Cleveland Guardians. How about that? The Cleveland Guardians, formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. But they're down 2-0. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the
Yeah, you
Guardians.
got a good team. You hit it on the head, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what I told people. I said, hey, the team is playing outstanding baseball, but at the bottom line is that we've seen this unfortunately before. The main thing that you need to do is be hot when it counts, which is down the stretch and when you're heading into postseason play. Because many teams have won 100 games and have not won the World Series. And at the end of the day, that is the goal, to win the World Series, to win the baseball equivalent of those 2 little items you got behind you, sir. That's the goal. Yeah, whether you win 100 games or not is really kind of irrelevant. So we're looking for this Braves team to make some noise in postseason. But right now, it's just a matter of just, hey, man, making it do what it do. And speaking of that, big shout out and kudos to the Braves. Not 1, not 2, not 4, not 5. 8 Braves players named to the MLB All-Star team. So it really could just be the Braves against the AL.
Well, anytime you win it, let's just be honest. Anytime you're winning, you're always going to be picked. You're going to have a lot of players that are picked. And right now, the Braves got the best record in the National League. 57. The closest team actually to the Braves are the Diamondbacks, and then you have the actual Marlins themselves, which both have won 50 games. But so the Braves are playing good ball. So anytime your team is hot, then you're going to probably get a lot of your athletes into whatever All-Star game, whether it's NBA, whether it's professional football. If your team is the hottest, then you're going to get the most players in there. But does that mean that your players are the best? No, it just means that your players are playing the best at that moment. So at the end of the day, they just got to keep it going. And they're 9-1 in the last 10 games.
Yes, sir. Tyrone's favorite, how they did the last 10 games. That's the Tyrone measuring stick. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's how it is. At 30-15 at home, 27-12 on the road. So 67, almost 70% wins out of the 84 games that they played so far. So the Braves are doing pretty good.
Yeah, the big key really to their record has been their resurgence of play at home. If you remember, in the first month and a half of the season, the Braves were barely 500 at Truist Park. And this is a place, man, where, everybody wants to come. It's always must-see TV. And they finally righted the ship in the month of June. They got red hot. I should say the mid part of May, they got red hot. And now, man, the Braves they're what they should be, a very, very tough team to beat in Truist Park at home. So that's been the key. And also the big thing to look out for is the return of some of their key pitchers. If they can get that starting pitching staff back, this Brave team is going to be very, very tough, because even though they've used their bullpen a lot, they just surpassed the San Diego Padres. They now have the number 1 bullpen in the National League. So, yeah, man, the Braves are stout. Let's take a look at who they got elected to the All-Star game as a starter. Sean Murphy, a guy a lot of people question, why would the Braves trade for a catcher when they had a good catcher already? Well, you see right here, Sean Murphy elected as a starting catcher for the National League. Freddie Freeman, ironically, a former Brave, once again has been elected as the first baseman, now playing for the Dodgers. Luis Arraez from Miami, another team who's played very, very well. Of course, they're eating a lot of dust from the Braves right now. Nolan Arenado playing well as a free agent in St. Louis. Orlando Arcia. Now, this is very interesting. Keep in mind, the Braves let go of Dansby Swanson, who was an all-star last year, and this year, who's a backup all-star, but his replacement for the Braves has been voted as a starter. Ronald Acuna, a guy who's on a pace to be an MVP this year, is in center field, or outfield, I should say, voted in there. Mookie Betts voted in from the Dodgers. Also, Corbin Carroll from Arizona in as well. Reserve players for the Braves: Matt Olson at first base, Ozzie Albies at second base, Austin Riley at third base. So incredibly, the Braves' entire starting infield has been voted on the All-Star team. So, yeah, man, they are just red hot right now. And it's just really a matter, can they continue this thing on, man, as they go into postseason? That's going to be really the key. Can they get the starting pitching that they need, and can they maintain down the stretch? Because they got a big enough lead right now. I think it's almost 8 games over Miami. And the way these guys are hitting and playing, man, that's it. And Ronald Acuna, I mean, this guy is just, his numbers are incredible. First half of the year, 21 homers, 54 runs batted in, 40 stolen bases for Acuna, batting .334. He is on pace right now to do something that no one's ever did. 40 homers and 7 steals in the season.
Well, the rule change actually played a lot of effects of that. And that's what the MLB, that's what they wanted. That's what Ronald Acuna is doing, is what they wanted to do. So they wanted to turn the stats up and, get people back to watching and thumbing and using their fingers to type information about Major League Baseball. And they accomplished it. So, So I think that is what they were looking for.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, is also done it. If you remember, Tyrone, they removed the shift. So you can't stack load. If a guy's a pull hitter, that's the other thing. You get guys now that are batting averages are up all over the place. So, yeah, man, it's just it's just incredible. And the thing that is interesting about the Braves is when I look at this team versus most other teams, if you look at Dodgers, Yankees, some of the other premier teams, in most cases, they have had to stack load their roster with top players that they brought in from elsewhere. And I'm not saying the Braves are not, because certainly Murphy and Olsen were trades. But if you look at guys like Acuna, Albies, if you look at Austin Riley, all these guys are homegrown guys. And the other thing the Braves have an interesting ability to do is get guys to play. And Tyrone, you know, because you play for pay, get guys to play for what am I looking for here? Below standard wages for what they're doing. Because if you look at the contract that Albie signed, look at the contract that Acuna signed, even look at the contract that Olsen signed, all these guys, what they're getting paid is comparatively much lower than some of the all-star players in their positions. And it seems like this team, although they're professionals, it seems like there seems to be a lot of fun, and they seem to enjoy just playing for the Braves. And how important is it to have a chemistry where you look, man, I know it's a job, but I'm actually happy I'm here? Or does that play a part of it at all?
Come on, you just answered that question yourself. You know, they're winning. Chemistry, that's what it does. It creates a good climate for winning. And as far as the actual money, I think it's all predicated on what that player's previous years were. And I also think it's credit to the Braves organization as far as looking at the ability, potential of a player. Like a player could have a down year, but maybe they went back and said, 5 years ago, this guy was an all-star. It kind of goes back to Moneyball, Moneyball with Brad Pitt played in. They going and, utilizing a system that really other teams didn't see that value, but they saw the value. So I think the Atlanta Braves got a good system in where they go and analyze players. And if you get a player who has an off year, okay, he's not going to come in asking for a whole lot of money. So you just give him what he needs and what he wants. But if you take a guy who, say, like, catch a guy who's really playing great ball, he's an all-star. I doubt if he come in and play for anything less than what he feels he's supposed to get paid. So it's kind of like you got to catch lightning in a bottle. You got to catch a guy who is trying to, had an off season, trying to pick himself back up. And then as an organization, they got to be able to understand, scout that guy, that player, and get him into the system.
Yeah, they've done a good job, man. And the thing is that's interesting. You look at guys, like I said again, like Acuna. You look at guys like Albies. You look at some of the other all-stars like Spencer Strider, the pitcher. All these guys are all homegrown guys. And even Matt Olson, although he was traded from Oakland, he originally is from here. I think he went to Norcross High School, one of the high schools up north. So they seem to really have been able to make that magic elixir of getting guys to come in, like you say, catching them maybe right before they make that big move and blossom into like a perennial all-star, or a year where they were kind of like on the border and they're willing to sign. The other thing too is, man, they've signed them for long-term contracts. I know contracts can be renegotiated, but Albies and Acuna, they're looking at 7+ years on their deals. And when you look at the kind of money they're making versus other top young players like, Bryce Harper and things like that, man, yeah, they're just way below that scale. But at the end of the day, man, like you said, if you're winning, everything is happening. And you get to the point, man, where sometimes your personal happiness, especially the kind of money these cats are making, it gets to the point where, okay, how much money you need?
Yeah.
Man.
You made me think about, again, that movie Moneyball, where the guy was playing David Justice, and you talking about the money. And
right.
The guy, he was saying, he said, yeah, you guys are paying me pretty good. So I guess I'm, all that, to a point. And then Brad Pitt said, oh, no. We're not paying all your salary. The Yankees are paying half of your salary. So I say all that to say that just because one team is paying a player right now, he has a 7-year whatever deal. But if they ever trade that guy or whatever, then the other team is on the hook for some of that salary. So, it ain't like you think it is. In baseball, well, in other sports, particularly the NFL, if they cut you, then your contract is gone. All of it is gone. They just take that hit on the cap, Right. But in baseball, if they trade you or something like that, your contract is guaranteed. Or if they trade you, then the other team has to pay for some of your salary as well. So you just made me think about that when you said about salaries and how in baseball it works a little bit different.
Oh yeah, man. 'Cause baseball, most of that money is guaranteed. Yeah, so like you said, somebody paying you that check, whether it be part of your old team, part of your new team, but you getting that money.
Yeah, getting that
Yeah,
money.
matter of fact, as a matter of fact, the gift that keeps on giving. As you know, every year about this time, one of the
Bobby
most
Bonilla.
comical, yeah, huh?
Was it Bobby
Yeah,
Bonilla?
Bobby Bonilla, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh man, buddy,
That
the
contract.
guy is,
Oh my goodness.
oh, he's still getting $1 million check from the Mets. I mean,
They call it
hey,
Bobby Bonilla Day. Was it Bobby Bonilla Day? Is that
Bobby Bonilla Day, he's about to get that check from the New York Metropolitans for 1 million. And I think he's got about another 8 or 9 more coming. I think it goes out to 2023, 2030 something. Yeah, man. I mean, one of the most bizarre contracts ever signed in professional sports history. Let's go to social media here for a second here. Todd was saying earlier, said New England Patriots using AI to get another Tyrone Poole for 2022. Yeah, well, that take like lot more than AI, brother.
hey, yeah, and now they did again, uh even myself going to New England, they kind of got value, but they didn't pay me like I should have been paid. And what I mean by that is I came from Denver, right? Came from the Broncos. And when I got to Denver, they originally had Delta O'Neal, uh, good friend, and they had Denard Walker, good friend. They just had signed Denard Walker from the Tennessee Titans, right, to a big contract. Delta O'Neal had just come off a Pro Bowl performing year previously, and so when I got there, I'm like the third wheel, but I knew my value, right? I knew I was, just as talented. So long story short, I'm telling you how New England kind of got a great deal, but they saw the value in my athletic ability, but I didn't have the full season as a starter. So they took advantage of that, which I'm not saying they took advantage of it. They just, hey, here's a guy who he's a starter, but he didn't play the full year. So we're not going to pay him starter money. Could he be a starter for the full year? We don't know. He didn't play the full year. So that's the type of talk that goes back and forth. But you would say, hold on, if he's a starter, then he's a starter. But again, it's just when do they catch that player in that particular time? So again, just finishing up that story. When I got to Denver, Ray Rose, Ray Bob, that's what they called him, Ray Bob. But Ray Rose, great coach, was a coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, and all that stuff. So Ray was the defensive coordinator. So Ray ran a lot of man-to-man, right? And that was like, one of my things, playing man-to-man. So about the first game of the season, I had done so good in training camp. First game of the season, what they would do, they would rotate me. I would come in like Denard Walker and Delta O'Neal would start the game. And then the second series, I would come in at left corner. And then the third series, I go to right corner. And then I'll come out the game. Then they'll be back in there. Then the next series, I go left, right, out. Left, right, out. They did that all the way up until about the 8th game of the season. And then Mike Shanahan told me, Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, so all the Atlanta people, Kyle Shanahan, remember him? But Mike Shanahan told me, hey, you're going to be the starter for the rest of the year. So I say all that to say, that's why when New England came to me, they knew they were getting a qualified, a bona fide player, but because I only played 8 games, they could bring as a starter, even though I was going, bouncing, and they could see my play on the field, still yet, you only started for 8 games. So we don't know if you really could be a starter. So we have to pay you this right here. This is what we're going to offer you. But at the end of the day, I like the chemistry, like you said, the chemistry. I like what they talked about. They were like, hey, we were in the Super Bowl previously. We made it to the playoffs, but lost in the wild card. We're trying to get back to the Super Bowl, and we believe you can help us. So, I ended up signing with New England, man, and we ended up going to the Super Bowl my first year there, and then going back again the second year.
Well, at the end of the day, brother, I mean, yeah, like you said, I'm sure you could have used an extra million or two in your pocket, but the bottom line is those two things behind you. There's a lot of players that have had legendary careers that don't have near one, and you got two of them. So it's pretty darn good. All right, guys, listen. For more great sports talk, you know what to do. Keep it locked right here. For more of the Real Talk Sports Show, we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. I'm telling you, don't go nowhere.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. Hope everyone is having a great 4th of July. We want to
This is your time to get what you want. Go work that thing with Work That Thing supplements.
All right, guys, a little information and inspiration. Before we do that, we're going to go to social media really quickly. And we have Mr. Todd asking, well, actually, first he give me an update. Braves have now tied the game at 2-2 against the Guardians. And I think you might have a question here. Says, does Tree know that she's been replaced by an AI woman on the show? My man Todd, no, she doesn't know, sir. And don't you tell her, but the queen can never be replaced, sir. That says Aria helping us out. All right, guys, speaking of helping us out, we want to let you guys find out how you can really learn how to do some great things in your life, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a business person, whatever it is. The main thing is you need to know one thing. You need to know how to work that thing. So now, the one and only Tyrone Poole with some words of inspiration and information about how to work that thing.
Well, I appreciate that, Jonathan. I'm just gonna be very quick so we can get back to some sports. I had a person ask me today. They asked me, and people ask me this all the time. Tyrone, how did you make it out of Fort Valley State? Fort Valley State Division II, HBCU. A lot of people don't know how I got to Fort Valley, right? How did you get to Fort Valley? I think I was a lottery pick, so to speak. I just kind of like, how like people win the lottery. It was just a luck of the draw. I quit football in high school, and I was a running back in high school, quit football in high school my senior year. And there was a lady who was an alumnus from Fort Valley State, at that time, Fort Valley State College. And she was a teacher teaching at LaGrange High School. And, LaGrange, we were like, very great program there. Anybody who knows about Georgia football, high school football, knows about Valdosta High School. They know about LaGrange High School. They know about a couple of other high schools that were like real dominant, during that time. And, we had a great program. Actually, we're the second winningest. LaGrange High School football is the second winningest high school football program in the state of Georgia, behind Valdosta. So I quit football. I'm a running back. So Ms. Hurd comes up and she says, Tyrone, where are you going to school? I said, I don't know, Ms. Hurd. I'm like, I don't know. I ran track as well, but I had not blossomed yet. I had not blossomed in track. I had not blossomed in football. And that's another point emphasis for anybody out there. Don't get caught up in that 5-star rating and all that stuff. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. Because really, if you go look at it, go do the study. How many 5 stars actually make it to the NFL? How many 4 stars make it? How many 3 stars make it? That this quote unquote system. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So I go to Fort Valley, and I went over to the running back side because that's what I played. Never played defensive back in my entire life. Never backpedaled. Never whatever, man. Never punt return. I was always a kickoff returner and a running back. So, anyways, third day in practice, I come out, and the head coach says the defensive back coach wants me to come over and start working out with the defensive backs. Okay. I'm like, I'm about to quit again. I'm like, man, look here. I mean, I'm done with this, man. Let me go just focus on track and field. But I had quit one time in high school. I said, no, I can't do it again. So I went over and, started backpedaling as defensive back. Big old running back shoulder pass on, big old running back thigh pass on. But eventually I slimmed everything down. But what I'm getting to is the person asked me, how did I make it out of Fort Valley, right? And first thing I tell them is you got to dominate. Now, we heard a lot of athletes say that who really dominate, really. And the other thing is that not only do you have to dominate, but you just got to have a regimen. So what I told this guy, I said, I'm going to give you the power of 5, right? The 5 things that I did. Now, I kind of learned this from John Maxwell. Anybody who knows John Maxwell, great speaker. I'm going to try to finish this up within like 4 minutes. But John Maxwell gave a story when he was giving his top 5 rules to success. And when I heard his rule about apply the rule of 5, I said, hold on, let me think back. So when people ask me now, how did you make it? I say it was the power of 5. 5 things that I did. And these things were done every day, every day, every day, every day. So my power of 5 was I worked out, I lift weights, I ran, I stretched, I ate, and I slept, right? So again, I'm just giving people the principles of how I made it out of Fort Valley. Besides domination and having straight focus, limiting your distractions, the other things that helped me were the power of 5. I lift weights, I ran, I stretched, I ate, and I slept. So his story, John Maxwell's story of the rule of 5 is, say if you got a tree you try to cut down, right? You get your axe, you go over to the tree, and you 5 swings at the tree. And that's all you do, 5 swings. Put the axe down, go do something, come back the next day, pick up the axe, swing 5 times again. Put the axe down, go do something else, whatever, come back the next day, pick up the axe, swing 5 times. You do that consistently. And that's what he's talking about, consistency. Swing 5 times, put it down, go do something else. Come back, swing 5 times, put it down, come back. Eventually, what is going to happen to that tree? That tree's going to fall down, right? Now, depending on the size of your goal, your dreams, that is going to determine how long it takes for you to accomplish what you're trying to go after, but you got to be consistent at it. So lifting weights, running, stretching, eating, and sleeping. That was what I did. So when I look back and I say, how did I make it? Those were 5 things that I saw that I did consistently, whether it was hot outside or cold outside, no matter what. Those were the 5 things that I did every day. Now, if I didn't do them in that order, I probably didn't do them in that order. But I did those 5 things every day until I got the call that, hey, the Carolina Panthers want to take you in the first round of the 1995 draft. Up until then, I even look back in high school. I'll close with this. I look back in high school. I did the same thing. Same thing in high school. I lift weights. I ran. I stretched. I ate. And I went to sleep. Almost to the point where I slept so much in high school, my mom like, boy, get your butt up. You got to get out here and do something. I said, Mom, I am doing something. I'm working out. I'm resting now. But at the end of the day, if you want to make it in life, You got to find your five things that are going to help you get to your goal. And you do those 5 things consistently. And then eventually that tree that you're trying to chop, depending on the size of it, will fall and you will accomplish your dream. So that is the Work That Thing motivation story for today. I hope it inspires somebody. I hope it motivates somebody to go out there and be the best that you can be and go work that thing. Back to you, Jonathan, in Real Talk Sports.
There it is, baby. Work that thing.
That thing.
That is the key. And get 5 things and be consistent. Don't jump all around. I don't
know what I got right
care.
here. See that right there? You guys see that? This
is
them a little book right here. I keep my notes. I still got some pages to fill now. This is just one of them. You know, I still got some pages to fill, but I got stuff that I write down. I can't show y'all everything. So it's being recorded, but I can just flash.
You got to get the book, boys.
Yeah,
got to get the book.
Y'all see stuff in there, but yeah. So you know, that's the other thing too. You know, I got another book here, man. You know, I got stuff written in this book too. You know, man. So again, I got 2 books, writing stuff in. So that's also a key. So that's why if you ever fail, man, you can get back up. All I gotta do, if something happens, I go back to the blueprint. And I get right back on that horse, man. So don't ever be afraid to fail when you know you got knowledge in your hand.
That's a good point right there. Now, before we go to the break, there's a question from Todd. He wanted to know who was the scout that found the diamond called Tyrone Poole.
Oh, man, look here. Boy, look at Todd. Man, one day I'm going to get his video to Jonathan. And actually, it was the scout. I would say he used to play with the Green Bay Packers. Who was the wide receiver back in Super Bowl I? Boyd Dowler. He was the scout.
Wow, dude. Yes, he was a legendary Packer, sir.
Yeah, he was the scout at the time with the Panthers and Boyd Dowler. But I'm going to send Jonathan this video, and I say this in 20 seconds. I'm running my 40, right, at Fort Valley. I ran my 40 on grass, right? And I ran a 4.34 on grass, man, right? So the scouts, you know, they all leaned over, right, with their stopwatches, right?
Right.
And this is on video, right? And when I ran by, they're like, whew. That's what they did. I got a video they doing that. And I got a video, Ken Herrock. I don't know if you remember Ken Herrock, Jonathan. He was the GM at one time for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Ken Herrock, the Falcons came down and worked me out personally, right? They sent that guy down, and I broke the record for the Falcons in the 3-cone drill. So, man, I'm telling dude, sometimes, man, I'm like, praise God, I don't even know how athletic I was, man.
Brother, but the bottom line, that's what scouts are for. They scouted you out and say, hey, we got some here. And that's why you win that first round. Yes, sir. All right, guys, listen, we're going to wrap it up in just a minute, but don't go nowhere. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Keep it locked right here. You know what to do. I'm just saying. Don't go nowhere. You bet not.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
We're back here to Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and right next to me, the champion, not one but 2 times, Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole in the building. All right, guys, you saw as we came back, I flashed it up for you. That's right, coming up this weekend, Zoom, go fast, baby. NASCAR is back in the ATL. Atlanta Motor Speedway will be hosting both the NASCAR main event on Sunday and Xfinity race on Saturday. Truck racing, car racing. So if you guys are around Metro Atlanta, tickets aren't too crazy. Go on to their website, check them out, man. Come on out. It is If you got the need for speed, man, this is, I gotta tell you, this right here, that opening when they hit that green flag, 200 miles an hour, baby. They wide open. Yes, sir.
You gotta,
So again, if
you
you
gotta go
like
down to
speed, you
pit
got to go
row.
on.
You gotta go down to
Oh
pit
yeah,
row
man.
too. Pit row, man, that's where the action at, man. I'm like pit row. That's where, yeah, pit row is like going inside the locker room, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
of a
Yeah.
sports team. Yeah, man.
Well,
You
that thing is
see
a
how they
real
get
deal. And
ready.
man, and ironically, what's very, very interesting is that over the last few years, as NASCAR has made a big push, and rightfully so, for diversifying, not only the fan base, but the guys that are drivers and the guys that are working in the pit crew. Man, you got a lot of former college and former NFL players, man, working on pit crews. And I mean, it is incredible to watch these guys swap 4 tires. Car comes screaming in about 40 miles an hour to a stop. They get 4 tires off and on in about 4.5 seconds. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
gotta
just
go.
it is must see TV. So if you guys get a chance to go, please do. Obviously, if you have the extra cash, like Tyrone said, get that VIP pass. You can get behind them pits, and who knows, you might even see the GOAT, Michael Jordan. He was there last time because a lot of people don't know that he has the 2311 team. He's a co-owner with that team along with current driver Denny Hamlin, and their featured driver is the lone African American NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace. So again, man, great stuff going down there in Atlanta. You guys got to
You
go
say Denny
if you
Denny
can this
Hamlin?
weekend.
You say Denny
Yeah,
Hamlin?
yes, sir.
He drives for Michael.
Yeah, no, he's actually him and Michael are partners. That's why they call it
Oh,
the 2311 because that's
okay.
Denny's normal number, and of course, number 23 is the number of the GOAT,
Yeah.
Mr. Michael Jordan. So yeah,
I'm
man,
look- I was
good
looking at
stuff.
the standings, and Denny Hamlin, he's seventh in the standings. William Bryan Byron is first, and Kyle Busch is second. Actually, Kyle Busch is about 22 points behind William Byron, and Denny Hamlin, he's sitting at 538 points. So he's about a good 44 points from first place.
Yeah, man. And the crazy thing is that NASCAR actually did something that they had not done before. Talking about people trying to press the envelope and do something different. If you remember last year, excuse me, yeah, last year when in 2022 when they played Super Bowl in LA, they actually put in a temporary race course that went around the Los Angeles Coliseum. So the first time they actually ran there. Well, this past weekend, they actually ran the road race around the streets of Chicago. So Chi-Town hosted this first NASCAR race, off the chain. People seemed to enjoy it. It was good crowd all the way around. So NASCAR really trying to do some stuff to bring them into the minds and hearts of not just the traditional NASCAR fan, which primarily had been a Southern fan, and try to branch this out, man, so they can make themselves really a national and some degree international sport. So kudos to NASCAR, man, for just trying different things to push the envelope. So like I said, God, you want to see some great fun in racing. And even if you can't afford to go to the NASCAR race, man, them truck drivers, man, they be getting down too. I mean, truck races on Saturday, same thing. You see those Ford F-150s lowered down. You see those Rams lowered down, and those
Yeah,
Chevys, and them guys be going about $170, $180 around that course. And
yeah,
now, remember, guys, last year they resurfaced the Atlanta track, so it's more like a speedway that you see in Talladega and Daytona. We had those steep banks, and yeah, man, it's just must see TV. Great stuff, great stuff. So if you get a chance, go on down and check them out. Well, I'm gonna ask the question here. I put it up on social media. Want to know what y'all did for 4th of July? This the question right here. What'd you do? Did you go to a concert? Did you just eat and chill at the house? Do a lot of barbecuing? Have you gone to any of your local city fireworks? What did y'all do? Tyrone, how about you? What'd you do for the 4th of July holiday? Anything special?
you say June. You say Juneteenth. Juneteenth.
No, no.
You
4th
said the 4th of
July.
July. You said Juneteenth. I thought you said Juneteenth.
No, 4th of July.
Anyways,
Yes, sir.
you didn't. You'll catch it. I think it went over your head, but
It sure did. When like,
yeah. 4th of July. But yeah, I was gonna make a joke, but anybody who heard me, they heard me say Juneteenth. So
They surely did because we understand the significance of that, and we participated in that too. We were in the inaugural Atlanta Juneteenth parade. We had a vehicle sponsored by one of our premier sponsors, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln, and we represented WIGO, the legendary WIGO Pacesetter 1570, as we drove behind the floats. And it's pretty cool, man. Actually, be a part of that. We saw the black horse riders, and we saw the guys on the tricycles and motorcycles, and the Corvette Club. 35 strong were out there as well. So yeah, great stuff going on in Juneteenth celebration as well.
But either way, you know, it's always good, man, to have your freedom. I don't care when you got it or however. You know, it's a lot of people right now. They're gagged, man. They can't say nothing, can't do nothing. You know, so regardless, man, you know, freedom is freedom. When it came, how it came, freedom is freedom. So, you know, shouts out to all of the people who sit on that wall and say, you know what, not tonight, not on my watch, man. And you know, the Real Talk Sports Show is gonna happen, and nothing's gonna interfere with Jonathan and his new AI beauty queen. Computer queen, computer queen,
baby.
Love.
You got a computer queen in the building now, baby.
Computer love.
Hey, man. Hey, look, you see Todd, he's already going off to the left. But, you know, I'm going to tell you something. Now, y'all know, people that follow me, know that I do some ministry as well. As you remember, guys, if you want to go, you can go check the archives of the Clarion Call broadcast. I told people that you in the coming days, I don't want to, you know, go off to make anything R-rated, but I'm telling you, in the coming days, you're going to see some strange stuff going on here with this AI. It's going to be a lot like Stepford Wives. So those of you who don't remember that, go and put in Google Stepford Wives. Yeah. And I think you're going to not too distant future see some nonsense like that. So I'm just telling you guys ahead of time. Yeah, AI, is it scary? Yes, it is. But two things you need to do. Number one, get ahead of the power curve. Learn as much as you can about it and find out how it can actually help you. And number two, as the Bible says, my grandma used to always remind me, the Bible says two things: watch and pray. She said, dear, remember, watch came first. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Watch, find out as much as you can about AI, but man, keep that in front of the Lord, because like most things that happen that man gets his hand on, as much good as it does, it's going to do a lot more evil. So again, just, you know, be cognizant, don't be scary, but be alert and be prayerful about AI, lest you be dating, you know, an AI queen. You find out that all your love was virtual.
AI gonna mess around. AI gonna mess around and press that button and gonna launch those warheads.
Hey, listen, all that stuff you saw in Terminator, with the humans against the machines. Listen, man, it's alleged. Now, again, guys, please, you know, I don't put no urban rumor out there, but actually it's already out there. There was allegedly in Japan an experiment with some AI robots went wrong, and some people actually killed. And then when they tried to shut the AI robots down, they somehow got a link to a satellite to instruct them on how they could keep themselves up and running and repair themselves in case they were struck or tried to be cut off by man. Hey, so, just saying, guys, we got some stuff going on. So hopefully, we'd like to get your comments on social media. What did you do on your weekend? Did you have an AI date? Did you just chill and eat? Did you go out to a celebration? Matter of fact, in the background, I can hear now, I'm in East Point. East Point has a massive celebration, one of the biggest in South Fulton area. So I can hear in the background, I don't know what's thunderstorm or the fireworks, but it's going on right now. So hopefully wherever you are having a good time and staying safe and enjoying your holiday weekend. Well, speaking of that, guys, we're going to let you go back to it, because ironically, it's almost time to get off the air. But you know how we do it. Before we get off, we always like you to find out how you can find out more about our guest and our co-host. So, as we always do it, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Appreciate you, Jonathan. You and your new computer love, your new AI online virtual assistant. But Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. Go get your Tyrone Poole. Go get your ultimate success in the game of life book. Get it autographed. This is a collector's item, people. Collector's item, right? There'll never be another ultimate success in the game of life book. So you get an opportunity to learn everything about me, plus 12, count them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 dynamic principles that will change your life. Principles work for anybody if you work the principles. So always good, Jonathan. Appreciate you, man, giving the opportunity to be a part of your show. Blessings to everybody who stayed in with us, watched, and learned something, hopefully. So thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Until next week, let's do it again. Be blessed. All right, guys. As you know, I'm a real life minister, not an AI produced one. I do have a real license. And so before I get out the broadcast, you know, I do it each and every week. I ask you this one simple question. Do you know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior? If you don't, I'm going to tell you, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. You can see all the crazy stuff that's happening in this world. But the good news is, if you repent of your sins and believe that he came here fully God and fully man, died, but rose from the dead, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And number two, if and when you die, you go to that wonderful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people. It is spectacularly bright all the time because the glory of God illuminates the whole kingdom. Every building is adorned with the most spectacular and beautiful jewels ever known to mankind. As a matter of fact, the streets are paved with gold that's so pure, it's translucent. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the places and all the things I mentioned in heaven won't be in hell. So it's dark, it's dreary, it stinks, it's extremely painful, fiery place. But most of all, you cut off from God and Jesus Christ forever and a day. I don't know about you, but like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time that we see you again, you know how we like to say it. We tell you, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long.